Welcome back to my podcast channel. And today we have Teddy Kosasih with us today. So how are you, Teddy?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. So what we'll be talking about today is leadership, leading with vision and values in a business. And Teddy will be sharing with us how he does this and how it makes a difference in the way he manages his business and really listening to his journey as well. So how do I know Teddy? I met Teddy many years ago at a CPA panel discussion and had the privilege to work with him and listen to him speak with the CPA members. And over the years, we've stayed in contact. More recently, we've also delivered a webinar with him as well on mindfulness, and that's how I know Teddy through CPA Australia. Now, in terms of Teddy's background, he is a fellow of CPA Australia, a chartered tax advisor, SMSF specialist advisor with over 18 years experience. And he's currently the managing director at Pitt Martin Advisory. He also was a finalist as a tax advisor of the year in 2021 and a winner of the consultant of the year in 2020. So, Teddy, are you ready for all the questions today?
Yes, I'm very, very excited to be part of this conversation.
I'm delighted to have you as a guest on this show. So the very first question I have for you is I really want to learn about, your journey in your career and in your business.
Yeah, so back in my days as an international student, I didn't know what I'll be doing after university. As a young person, I just try to do the best I can in my university degree, and then after that, I go with the flow. That's what my plan is. And one day, my sister told me that her accountant was looking for a junior accountant, and I graduated as an accountant. So I thought, I'm looking for a job at the moment. I was so desperate at that time just to get a job. And keep that in mind that, a job is what you pay for and a calling is what you're made for. And back then I wasn't thinking that much, as long as I get a job, and then I can work as an accountant, get some experience. That's all I'm worried about. So I took a role as an unpaid accountant back then. I didn't really care at the time, because once I've got the experience, then, I think, I can move on to the next level. Whether I can do it or not, I wasn't sure. And I always remember that Richard Branson, from Virgin used to say, if someone offers you an amazing opportunity, and if you're not sure you can do it or not, just say yes and learn how to do it later. So back then I thought, so just say yes. Unpaid accountant, that's okay, just say yes anyway, and I'll just work that out later. And that's how I first landed a job in a public practice, public accountant in Australia. Then I was working as a public accountant for 15 years before I finally made a decision to start my own practice. So again, I wasn't sure what my business path would look like, but I believe someone is going to start somewhere. You're going to start somewhere, And I remember Lao Tzu used to say, a journey of 1,000 miles begin with a single step. And, I took that step. I don't know where I'm going. I took that step. I started my business journey 5 years ago. And I remember 5 years ago because my daughter was just born at that time. And my daughter was born in April. And I started the company in May. It's a big step, but someone's got to do it anyway. And I call it Pitt Martin when I first started. And the reason why I call Pitt Martin is because we started in the corner of Pitt Street and Martin Place. And that's where Pitt Martin name came from. And I remember if you do a Google search on KPMG started with Pitt and Marwick, and so we're not really far off, and who knows, there will be another KPMG in the making in the future. So that's when, that's where we first started, in the corner of Pitt Street and Martin Place. And recently we rebranded to Pitt Martin Advisory with the same vision, with the same mission, but with more vibrant with more modern and more active approach. So that's how I started my career in accounting and also set up my business about 5 years ago.
Thanks, Teddy. I didn't know you started as an international student. Oh, this is going to be amazing. So it's a great inspiration for international students as well. That is awesome. And I love that quote by Lao Tzu, the 1,000 steps start with one single step. That's something, I actually have a painting on the wall at my place right now that has a picture of the Great Wall of China, just to remind myself that, it's that it takes one step at a time to achieve what you want to achieve in your career or your business. So the next question I have for you is around, what brings you joy in your business?
I love talking about, what gets me up in the morning. At Pitt Martin Advisory, we have our core value, which I call it 3P. These values differentiate our business with another business. So the first P, we call it purpose. We exist to make a difference in the lives of people. We are committed to serve people with integrity, with patience and humility, because we believe that success is not how much money we make. It has nothing to do with what we gain in our life. It has nothing to do with what we accomplish for ourselves, but it's about the difference we make in people's life. This comes back to what I just said earlier about more active approach. To make a difference, you got to be active. You got to be active to make a difference. It's not just a good intention, but it's actually the action. And the second P is our passion. In other words, we love what we do. We are passionate beyond numbers, and we are passionate to add value to our clients and constantly finding opportunity in every challenges. I think this pandemic gave us the opportunity to do that, to add value to our client, their business, and their family. And because we believe that there's no better time than now during this pandemic to be a trusted advisor, because this is the opportunity for us to serve others with patience and humility. That's our passion. We love what we do. And the third P, we call it people. We value our people. We look for ways and we do things to add value to people, and we encourage others to do the same, because we care about people, we care about their well-being, we care about their life, their family, and their businesses. And we believe that people don't care how much we know until they know how much we care. So that's our core value, that gets me up in the morning. Every single day, I look at our 3Ps and I want to do more for other people.
Thank you for sharing. I actually heard this in your recent podcast as well. And I was really, really touched and inspired by the 3Ps: purpose, passion, and people. And together, that message, together we can make a difference. In the time of knowing you, you definitely live by those values, and I can see that brings you a lot of joy in your business. Now, moving on to something a little bit trickier, which is like, a setback in your career or business that has influenced you to become the person you are today.
I have a lot of setback in my career and business. If I have to list them down, probably will take a long time and probably hours and hours to talk about it. And but sometimes I feel like, I took one step forward, but 2 steps backwards. I think obviously a lot of people will feel the same way when they, when they run their business or when they're in their career journey. But I do believe that sometimes, a setback is what you need to become successful. I remember I was working in a bigger firm, but I decided to move back to a smaller firm I started because I was so nice to go back to the smaller firm that I started to help him on his business, but only to find out that I lose my job a year later, and I moved to a bigger firm thinking that, this is my career journey, but then I look back, um, smaller firm will give me more opportunity to move forward. And I thought, going back to the smaller firm that I started, maybe will give me more opportunity to move forward. And also he's a nice person. I thought, I might go back and help him out and help him grow his business to the next level. But a year later, something goes wrong, and obviously I lost the job, and I have to start again. And another one was when I set up my own accounting firm on the side, thinking that this business on the side will become a main business in the next few years. Only to find out that I closed it down 2 years later. It doesn't work. I found it's hard to work on the side when you have a full-time job, and was working long hours just to build that side business. And 2 years down the track, I thought it's not ideal for me, because I lost focus, and there's a lot of things I want to do, and I struggle to manage my time. So, but the good thing about it is that I evaluate those of many experiences and learn from it. And I remember John Maxwell used to say, experience is not the best teacher, but evaluate the experience is. So whenever I have a setback, I evaluate those experience, and obviously prepare me to move to the next journey. And those setbacks in my career and business had sort of influenced me to be the best I can be, because I believe that success is a journey. It's a daily thing. It's not a destination. Even I face a lot of setback or challenges. I don't think it can determine the success, because success is not a final destination. It's a journey that prepare you for the next success journey. And I never had the opportunity to work in Big Four or mid-tier firm. I try as hard as I can, and I know being an international student is very hard. But I said to myself, I don't have to work in Big Four or mid-tier firm, but one day I will work with Big Four or mid-tier firm, in which I did these days. Work with them, not for them, and that's I think that all the setback and all the challenges prepare me for that. And most people fail in life not because they aim too high and miss, but I think because they aim too low and hit. And then when they hit, they think, oh, I hit my goals and that's it, But they didn't realize that they set the goal is too low. And set your goals ridiculously high, and even if it's a failure, you'll fail above everyone else. Success. I think that's how I set my my path.
That's definitely really interesting how you see setbacks and how you take them as opportunities to evaluate each time you experience a setback. And then obviously I would say that you would then learn from that and then apply that learning in your career and in your business. Which leads to the next question around, you talked about your goals, and it sounds like you're very clear on your vision or your goals. So what is your mission and vision of your business, Teddy?
Okay, I think the most important thing is Simon Sinek, I think everyone knows Simon, he was saying you need to find your why. So when I first started Pitt Martin Advisory, the first thing I'm thinking about is, what's my why? Why do you what you do? I'm an accountant, but why do you do what you do? So I have a big vision when I first started Pitt Martin, and now we call it Pitt Martin Advisory. My vision is to make an impact in business, in profession, and community by doing small things in a great way. I can't do big things, but I certainly can do a small thing in a great way. So that's my vision, to make an impact in business, profession, and community by doing small things in a great way. By everyone buying into the vision, and I believe, like I said, together we can make a difference. I think this is important because you don't start a business to make money, right? You start a business to make a difference, and you start a business to make an impact. You know, at the end of the day, people will ask you, what impact have you made in your business? What impact have you made in your career, in your profession? And what impact have you made in your community? So they're the three things that I kind of like put together. So what impact have you made in your business, in your profession, and in your community? Because really success has, like I said earlier, has nothing to do with what we gain in our life or what we accomplish for ourselves. It is what we do for others. You know, success is not about how much money we make, but it's about the difference we make in people's life. And I think that's the basic principle that we have to carry on our career journey. And our vision, my vision is at Pitt Martin Advisory is to empower business owner to significantly achieve their objective and purposes through understanding and living principle-centered leadership by serving, helping, and adding value to their businesses with patience and humility. That's our clear vision and mission, and that's why I'm always excited to share these journeys with people. You're going to lead, you're going to live with the principle-centered leadership, by serving, helping, and adding value to people, because everyone can serve. You don't have to have a title or recognition to be able to serve other people. I think that's a key for us to move forward in our journey and our life.
Yes, thank you for that, Teddy. I was really inspired after meeting you. I came into your office one day and caught up with you. I can't remember the time frame, about probably 2 years ago. And you shared that, making a difference in your business and profession and community. And I walked away from that meeting and I was thinking, oh my goodness, I was inspired. I'm like, how do I contribute back to my profession? And so it made me reflect on how can I contribute more, not just with my clients, but with the profession and with community. And more recently, Teddy and I introduced to him a speaker for one of his events. And as a result of that, that particular speaker has won a new project as well. So ultimately that is contributing to the community. So that is definitely not just words, but actions, evidence that it does work, it does happen, and you've made it happen. So that's about the mission and vision. And I'm just really curious, Teddy, in terms of your business, like who are your main clients in terms of what industries, and is there an area you like to specialize in?
So we work with different industry and different type of clients. We look after individuals, we look after mum and dad, family trust, company partnership, and also SMSF clients. Coming back to our values, we look for ways and do things to add value to people, and we love working with everyone. And by the way, we are not in business of making money. We are in business of helping people or adding value to people. If we are in business of helping people, I'm sure that we are not going to run out of work, because you always have people around you that needs your help, that needs some help. We don't have a specific industry that we want to work with, but our ideal client are professional services and medical practitioner, because obviously we have a similar sort of work ethics and also similar sort of work style, and that's where we want to be specialized in. And also we are in professional services ourselves, so we know the industry pretty well.
Now we've got 2 questions to go, and this is all these questions I ask all the speakers. Like, really like to get to know you more. What is a book that you would like to give away, and why?
There's a book that I want to give away, and I forgot to bring the book, but I brought it last time when we first scheduled to do this podcast, but I forgot about it today. But the book is actually from John C. Maxwell. It calls Everyone Communicate and Few Connect. And this book was so good because a lot of time we communicate with people, but we don't connect with them. You know, everyone agrees that communication is very important. You know, in any organization, communication is the key, is very important. But if you don't connect, no one will listen and understand. So this quote is so true. You know, the measure of a great teacher isn't what he or she knows, it's what the student knows. So we have to connect. It's how you connect with them, and then they understand. So the most important thing when connecting with people is what John Maxwell called find 1% that you agrees. Find 1% that you agrees on and give 99% effort on it. But a lot of time, people find 1% that they disagree and give 99% effort to argue their thought. You don't connect with people if you do that. So you gotta find 1% that you agrees on, and you give 99%. And that's how you connect with people. Once you connect, the communication gets easier. So I think that book is very good, especially when we work in a big organization, or in any organization.
Awesome. I'm going to download that book on my Audible and listen to it during the break. I do love John Maxwell's work. He is sensational in terms of his leadership philosophies and so forth. So the final question I have for you is, what is one thing that you do every day that makes you happier and more productive?
So I sort of wake up in the morning every single day asking the same question that John Maxwell used to ask himself, which is how I can add value to people today. And if I want to add value to people today, who will it be? So I wake up in the morning thinking of, if I come to work today, I'm going to see my client. My client's going to come and see me. So how can I add value to him? And also, if there's no appointment today, I ask myself, I want to add value to people, and who will it be? Maybe I'll go and, contact a few people in my connection, and then just add value to them. So that they are the things that I ask myself in the morning. How can I add value to people today, and who will it be? And we live in an environment where we want other people to look after us. Basically, that's what we want. We want, it's always about ourselves. I want you to look after me. We want other people to add value to us. We want people to help us achieve what we want to achieve. First thing we're going to tell people is, hey, you're going to refer some client to me, because we want people to help us achieve what we achieve. It's always about I, me. Even when you go to a networking event, the first thing you're gonna tell people is, this is my business card. If you need some help, give me a call. Me. But I suppose if you want to be happier, you're gonna start asking, how can I add value to people? And you want to know how to. If you want to know how to do it, to add value to people, then you're going to start asking this question. Start by asking a question of, how do I serve others? I always mention this in my podcast. There are three things to remember when you want to serve others. So the first thing, if you want to serve others and to add value to people, is service over status. So it doesn't matter what position you have, you need to forget yourself and start serving others. This is the difference between boss and leaders. Boss had the position, had a status, has a title, but leader had the people. So you're going to think about the first thing, if you want to serve others, is service over status. It doesn't matter what position you have, you're going to get your hand dirty and you're going to lead by example. And the second things that when you talk about serving others is character over comfort. So when you serve others, there will be an inconvenience because you do it not on your own time, you do it on other people's time. That's how you serve people, right? And that's what leadership is about. It's about your character and how do you serve others in their own agenda, and that agenda might affect your personal schedule. It might give you inconvenience, but that's where leadership is about. Serving other even with the inconvenience. And also the last thing when you serve others is we over me. Sometimes we always think about, not sometimes, we always think about ourselves, me. But change that mentality. You're going to change it to we, and we just have to go out there and serve people. Don't worry about ourselves. Start worrying about other people, help them, serve them, give them what they need, because when we talk about we over me, I remember what the leadership expert Zig Ziglar famous quote. He said, "You can have everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want." So it's about other people, not about you.
Round of applause there. It was well said. Well said. I think it's beautiful that you actually say you wake up in the morning and you say to yourself, ask yourself, how can I add value today? Who do I want to add value to today? And so that, I think that sums it all up. It's making a difference, making an impact. So I'm just going to do a very quick summary of what I personally learned from you today, and it's simply that being in business, you absolutely need to be crystal clear of your mission and your vision and your core values, and helping your staff understand what those core values mean. Many businesses sometimes they have these core values, but it is hard to actually understand, and it sounds really clear that in Teddy's business that it's driven by the mission, the vision, and the core values. I also personally felt that very inspired by everything you shared with us today, and all the beautiful quotes that you shared as well. So certainly, 1,000 steps begin with a single. Was 1,000 steps? Was 1,000 miles? Now I forgot.
A journey of 1,000 miles started with a single step.
A journey of 1,000 miles started with a single step, and sometimes that 1,000 miles just seems like forever. But it is just the things you do on a daily basis. As you said, waking up and asking yourself that question. I think it's a beautiful question to ask yourself. How can you add value today, and who you can add value to as well? So thank you very much, Teddy, and thank you so much. It was I'm very inspired. Do you have anything else to say?
Yeah, I think I mentioned earlier, when you're in a career journey, don't look at your career as a job, but look at your career as a calling. Because if you do it as a job, then you're gonna be jumping around because you try to find the right job or the best job, but which doesn't exist. So you got to do it as your calling. When you do it as your calling, then you enjoy what you do, because you don't do it for the money, but you do it because you love what you do. You love helping people. You love serving other people. I think that's very, very important. It doesn't matter if you're in business or if you're working for someone else, you're gonna think like that. Not a job, because a job is what you pay for, but it's a calling, what you're made for. That's very important. And if you want to learn how to serve people, go and do a lot of pro bono work, because if you have a high position, say if you run your own business and you feel like, I feel like this is my business, I'm the boss. If you have that sort of mentality, I can tell you now, you go and do pro bono work, because then by doing that, you learn to think, or you learn to feel from other people. So when you talk to your staff or your employees, you don't talk to them as you are the boss, instruct them to do it, but you talk to them as you're in that position because you've been in that position by doing a pro bono work. So I do a lot of volunteer work because by doing the volunteer work, then I can feel what they feel. So when I talk to people in my organization, I always put myself in their position.
Love it. Love it. So that concludes our session today, our podcast, and to all the listeners who are following this channel, thank you for following this channel, and I'll definitely have more guests coming on the show in the next few months. So stay tuned, and so just want to say warm thank you, and thank you very much, Teddy, and see you soon.